In this video, we're going to talk about strings in details. As we mentioned in a previous section of this course, strings are a sequence of characters. The character in a string can be enclosed in either single quotation or in double quotes. This does not make a difference. A string enclosed in a single quote is completely identical to one enclosed in double quotes. I'm going to open Python console and let's move the Python console to top right, and I'm going to expand it. We're going to type some strings, so I'm going to wrap them into double quotes. A string, that gives us a string. If I say a string in single quotes, that gives us a string. So you can see they're identical. But what happens if you want to add a single quote within the string? So a double quoted string can contain single quotes as well. I'm going to type a string in double quotes with, say, a name Susan. That single quote is part of the string now. You can also build a multi-line strings by enclosing the character in a triple quotes. Let's create a new file. We don't want to do that in a Python console. I'm going to right click on a string, go to new, and I'm going to name it multi-line string. I'm going to start by defining a variable name s equal to, we use 3 double quotes. PyCharm is pretty smart. It added 3 double quotes for us automatically. And I'm going to create a multi-line string. So I'll say a multi-line. I'm going to print s. Let's save the file and I'm going to run it by pressing Ctrl-R on a Mac. So here we have a multi-line string running, guys. Now we can add more strings. And then we have more multi-line strings. Now another thing that I would like to show you here that you might be wondering, we need to use 3 double quotes, but no, you can add multi-line string into single quotes as well. I'm going to run this file and now we can see we have a single quoted multi-line as well. Next up, we're going to talk about how we can repeat strings. So if I say double quote string, if I just multiply this by 20, and you will see we have string. Now I'm going to give a space here to actually see. Okay, there you go. We have a string written 20 times. Next up, you can concatenate with plus operator. So let's make it a bit of fun statement here. So I'll use single quotes. I'll type Alibaba and D. I'm going to give a space here. I'm going to concatenate that, which means adding 2 strings together with thieves. Okay, and then we can multiply that by 40 here. So I'm going to press return and it's going to say Alibaba and thieves 40 times. There we go. So you can concatenate strings with plus operator. In Python, strings are immutable. This means that once they are assigned to a variable, their value cannot be changed. Let's take a look at an example. So if I type string variable equal to, let's do flip flop. Okay, we got the string. Now if I say string, I'll use this string and multiply by, let's just say 8. And then we get that flip flop 8 times. But if I print string, it still has a flip-flop. So the value didn't actually multiply by 8. This same is applicable for all string operation. They do not change any part of the string, even you do concatenation. Now let's talk about Python string indexing. Python strings can be indexed like in most other programming languages. The first character in the sequence in the string is at index 0. We create a variable. I'm going to name it s equal to, we set that value to Python is fun. I'm going to check the length of s. Type len and then press return, and it's telling me it has a length of 13. So let's just say from 13, if I specify 0 with indexing, it should return p. Let's give it a shot. So I'm going to specify s with square brackets. I'm going to define 0 index and I enter and I get p back. So what about index 1? Okay, I get y. We check the length, which is 13. Let's specify 13 as an index. So I'll type 3, and there you go. It says, oh, string index out of range. Now it's telling you the length, but the length starts from 0, so the last index should be 12. And there we go, we get n. Now sometimes you want to grab the last index directly and you don't know the last index number. Your string might be very long. How do we do that? Well, we can use negative numbers as well. So from left to right, indexing starts from 0, but from right to left, indexing starts from -1 and onwards. So I'm going to specify s with -1. It's going to return n. So if I say -2, it's going to return u. -3 should return 3. Let's talk about slicing. Additionally, you can access characters within the range of indices in a string and get a slice or substring of that string. Slicing syntax is in the following format. Start by defining a variable which holds a string, followed by open and close square bracket, define start index, colon, and end index. Let's try slicing some strings. So I'm going to create a variable string equal to, we can set that value to hello world. Now we have one variable. The good thing about PyCharm is that you can see this variable available in your memory. So I'm going to use a variable string followed by opening and closing square bracket. Now we can see we can define the start index, colon, and end index. Now I'm going to press enter. It's going to return hello. So here we have 5 characters getting returned. Note that the returned substring doesn't include the character at the end of the index. Python allows you to omit the start and end index when slicing a string. So we'll type string, open and close square bracket. We can type 3 and then leave that end index turn, and then you get to see hello world, all the characters starting from character index 3. So here we have HEL, and then we start from here. So as you can see, this time the actual index didn't start from 0. We can use negative integers while getting a range from a string. So let's do that. String, open and close square bracket. I'm going to try grabbing last 5 characters. So I'm going to start by -5, and I'm going to leave that end index to empty. Let's press enter and you get to see word. What if you want to grab everything, and we can say leave starting as empty, and then here we can start from -1. It's going to return hello world. I've got some activities for you to do, so I would really recommend try playing with string slicing, try different start and end index, and try to just get more familiar and do more practice with slicing strings.